On January 27, attorneys general from 6 states sent a letter to President Joe Biden warning him of potential presidential overreach. We stand ready to meet with your administration to discuss more how the issues below affect our states. Yet if you sign unconstitutional laws passed by Congress, it will be our responsibility and duty to challenge those laws in court, West Virginia AG Patrick Morrissey, who is leading the group, wrote in the letter addressed to the White House. Morrissey is joined by AGs from Arkansas, Indiana, Mississippi, Montana, and Texas. It comes as Biden issued a series of executive orders in his first week since taking office, some of which have reversed Trump-era policies. The letter puts the Biden administration on notice that any actions that might exceed their statutory authority, are inconsistent with constitutional tenets, or place civil liberties at risk could trigger legal action by the states. Congress writes the laws and the president and his officers are limited under the Constitution to the role of faithfully carrying them out. Overreaching and defying Congress will not be rewarded or succeed, the AGs wrote to Biden. We will not hesitate to defend America against illegal executive actions, they added. On the same day the letter was issued, the Biden administration was also sued in the state of Wyoming. The lawsuit was filed by the Western Energy Alliance, which claimed that Biden exceeded his authority by halting oil and gas leasing on federal lands. Kathleen S. Gamma, the president of the group, presents her argument.
This order is not lawful. He doesn't have the authority to just stop leasing. Congress mandated through the Mineral Leasing Act that quarterly lease sales shall take place in Wyoming, New Mexico, and other states with oil and natural gas interest. So he's risking jobs, livelihood, conservation funding in the West.
The White House said the move is an attempt to, quote, tackle the climate crisis. S. Gamma argues that it is better for the climate to produce the energy in the U.S. than importing it.
So if we don't produce it here in America, we have to import that from overseas. And we certainly produce it in a more environmentally responsible manner than Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, other countries that, they just don't have the strict standards that we do here.
Republicans and industry leaders said the order would harm the U.S. economy and result in thousands of job losses. 4 House Democrats from Texas have also urged Biden to rescind the order, saying it would eliminate jobs, reduce economic output, increase budgetary shortfalls, and increase crude imports from foreign countries and so weakening of the U.S. national security apparatus as it pertains to American energy independence. Biden's early steps after taking office represent a sharp break from former President Donald Trump's efforts to push American energy independence by maximizing fossil fuel production. On his first day in office, Biden moved to rejoin the Paris Agreement on climate change and revoked a permit for the Keystone XL pipeline. Putin has to be pretty ecstatic right now, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley told Fox News. One of the things that bothered him the most was how energy independent we had become. The cancellation of Keystone XL pipeline has also drew heavy criticism from House Republicans, citing thousands of job losses and undermined trust from Canada who have invested billions of dollars to the project. We are disappointed but acknowledge the president's decision to fulfill his election campaign promise on Keystone XL, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said in a statement. Senator Steve Daines alongside other senators from central and western states said that they plan to introduce legislation to keep the project rolling. Meanwhile, Special Presidential Envoy for Climate John Kerry said that workers impacted by Biden's fossil fuel policy can find jobs in solar power industry, without elaborating on details.
And also to the oil industry executives who are listening, are you putting them on notice today?
Well, we didn't come here to put anybody on notice except to the seriousness of President Biden's intent to do what needs to be done to deal with this crisis. Fastest growing job in the United States before COVID was solar power technician. The same people can do those jobs, but the choice of doing the solar power one now is a better choice. And I think that unfortunately workers have been fed a false narrative. No surprise, right, for the last few years. They've been fed the notion that somehow dealing with climate is coming at their expense. No, it's not. What's happening to them is happening because of other market forces already taking place.